Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's Marina here and we are going to make today this easy folio album which has a curved spine and it's decorated with a beautiful paper collection by Stamperia. Of course, the decoration part is always up to you, so you can choose any paper collection you like. I used only one 12 by 12 paper pad to decorate it. The free PDF cutting guide is available on my coffee shop and the folio is also available for sale. Everything is linked below in the description box. So here we have this pretty folio that measures 13 by 21 centimeters. I used the Provence collection by Stamperia, which is actually an older collection but still so beautiful. On the cover, I added these beautiful flowers and for these leaves I used my C6 die cutting machine and this set of beautiful dies for flowers and leaves as well. I used these two dies, absolutely gorgeous dies, to create pretty flower compositions. So here, as you can see, the folio is closed on 4 sides and I definitely love this. Here is the back that I used some leftover pieces to decorate it. Okay, let's open it to see what we are going to create. On this folio, I didn't want to add any pockets or anything else. I just wanted to keep it simple and have only flaps and blank spaces to add your pictures. So here is room for a picture. And by the way, I didn't add any magnet. Guys, I think you are going to love this folio. Here are beautiful spaces to add your pictures. Same here. I decided to keep this folio quite simple so it has no special compositions like clusters I always make. On the right section we have plenty of room to place your pictures. So this opens like so and like so. On the center we have this piece that I fuzzy cut from the collection to journal on the back. We have this card which is actually a pop-up card, really easy to make it. Here you can add a picture. And here of course another picture, and down here you can journal. That's why I chose a less complicated designed paper. Look how pretty is this image, I love it really so much. This flap goes on the left and this one on the right. These two flaps have a 5mm gusset. Over here we have this flap that opens on the top. And this is a kind of a top pocket or a tuck spot to hold a picture like this. And we have this flap that goes down. Same here, we have a pocket. Last place to add some pictures, smaller ones or a bigger photo. I absolutely love how this folio turned out. So let's move on to the tutorial. For the base I'm going to be using a heavyweight cardstock, about 300 GSM weight. In between the first and the last scoring line, I am going to make 2 more scoring lines. If your scoring board is in inches, just make every 16 of an inch a scoring line. Now I burnish well all of these scoring lines one by one with a bone folder. I put liquid glue on this part to join these two pieces. Just make sure not to go over the bending line but next to it. I am going to create the flaps for the left section. For both sections I am using 200 GSM weight white cardstock, but of course you can use lighter one like 180 or perhaps 160 GSM. For this flap I am going to use a corner punch to round the corners. Of course this step is optional. Try to glue the piece B on the center like this. Make sure to have even gaps left and right. Just a close-up look to see that I adhered this piece next to the scoring line. I am going to glue the piece C on the center of the piece A. You can measure using a ruler, but I prefer to eyeball it. close the flap in this way so you can see all the scoring lines and then stick it down. Now I am going to create the pop-up card. Now I have to stick the piece F after the decoration of the card I just made. So at the moment I will leave this aside. You will find the collection linked below at Viola Craft. All the decorative panels I am using in my projects are 5mm or 1/4 of an inch less high and wide than the base. I am going to decorate the cover, and for that I am taking this paper and I will try to cut it in a way to fit on my cover. I want this to be at the end 12.5 by 20.5 centimeters. I am using a distress oxide to ink the edges so they will look more vintage in this way. You can add a magnet here if you want. Now I am going to measure and find the center, which is right here, because I'm going to put my closure here. I mark at 6.5 centimeters. I am going to take my crocodile to punch a hole. Now I'm going to punch 2 circles out of thick cardstock to make these sturdy. I put them together like this and punch a hole on the center. Here is a piece of chipboard about 1 mm thick. I put the brad through the hole and then this is going to come here. I am using a piece of double-sided tape to secure the legs of the braids. I pass the string on the back of the circle and tie a knot. And just because I think that these scoring lines are too wide, I am going to ink them a little bit and give them a vintage look. So guys, that was the tutorial for today. I hope you had fun. See you next time. Bye!